Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel, where today we have yet another tactical preview. The games for Manchester United are coming thick and fast at the moment. This time it's the Europa League game up against Sevilla, so I want to talk about some of the things we're going to see during the game, how I think both teams will set up from a tactical point of view, what Ten Hag is going to do, who some of the important players might be. On this, I swear it's impossible to find a HD picture of Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes together. Don't know why, but yep, that's a thing. But yeah, today we're talking about the tactics, so that's what we're going to get into. But before that, I personally think you guys should subscribe to the channel, I think it'd be a really good idea. If I just sit here for a few seconds, you should probably subscribe, minimize the video, make it smaller, and then press that subscribe button. Notifications as well, if you want to do that, that'd be nice. That should be enough time. Alright, tactics. How is this game going to go? Well, I think we're going to see another game where Manchester United are quite dominant, and importantly, we are going to see the return of Casemiro in the midfield, as we've said already. How is the game going to go in terms of the approach to kind of the flow of the game? I think Sevilla will be reasonably passive. I don't think we're going to see Sevilla pressing super high up the pitch. In terms of their actual shape, it's a little bit hard to predict. Most of the season, they've been some form of either a back three or a back five. However, it's been a bad season, and recently they have moved to a back four. However, I think, knowing United's quality, I think they will go for the 5-4-1. We've seen them use it in games against teams like Barcelona, for example, so I think we will see it. But like I said there, I don't think we're going to see them pressing particularly high up the pitch, because that's not really how they play at the moment. So therefore, United should have some control. So the question from here, basically, is, as United, what shape do you use? How can you break the Sevilla team down? What are their weaknesses defensively? What are United's strengths? What can you really take advantage of? And we're going to start off with something which might, I wouldn't say a shock, but might be something you're not expecting as regular viewers of the channel, because I'm going to say that United should build possession using a back three. Now, the reason that might be a little bit odd is because normally, when up against one forward, I always recommend using a back two, simply because there isn't the need for the extra man. However, for this particular game, and we'll come on to why, I would like to see a back three, and I think it could work when Sevilla are dropping deeper if Casemiro drops into the defence between the centre-backs. So it would essentially be a back three of Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro and Rafael Varane. Now, of course, this is going to allow the three to outnumber the Sevilla striker, so instantly it should give United control. But what it also does by dropping Casemiro deeper is it allows Bruno Fernandes to play that same position which he's been playing recently, in this little pocket here. And I think initially I would maybe go with a bit of a 3-2 shape. Let's say let's push Fred high, let's push one of the fullbacks high, have Antony come inside. Maybe something like this. Tyrell Malacia we know is comfortable inverting into these areas. I think this is the sort of shape that I would go for early on in the game. And there's going to be a few reasons why. I think it might be obvious if you just look at it at the screen, especially if you're looking in that central area. I think we can see why I might be suggesting this shape, but I think it gives United a base of control. Casemiro playing in this deeper position means that he's able to really utilise his longer range passing, which I think is really actually underrated side of his game, so I think that could be useful for United. But it also allows Varane and Lisandro Martinez to step forward with the ball as often as they want, basically, knowing that they have Casemiro covering behind them. Now, of course, Casemiro won't always be this deep. There will be spells where he steps forward, but I would like to see him in a slightly deeper position. Now, the reason for this is because, like I said, it allows the wider centre-backs to step forward. And the advantage of doing this is that it draws out one of the wider midfielders for Sevilla. Sevilla will try and be compact in a 5-4-1 like this. So if Lisandro Martinez is able to step forward, knowing his quality on the ball, Sevilla physically have to step out towards him, because you can't let Lisandro Martinez have time, if not he'll hurt you. So that can draw someone like Rakitic out, and I just wonder if this is the cue for United to then go inside, where with Fred, Antony coming inside from the right, Fernandes and Tyrell Malacia, you've got a four there, up against maybe potentially just a midfield two of Sevilla, maybe a three if the winger is going to come in from the other side, but it certainly gives United that opportunity to overload the middle of the pitch. And I said it in my video the other day, I can't remember what one it was, but when you've got quality players like Manchester United do, you only need to get into these overloaded situations 2 or 3 times in a game to really hurt a team. I think using this shape early on in the game could allow United to do it on a really, really regular basis. And like I said, obviously it can rotate as well, it could be the other way around. We could see Tyrell Malacia overlap out wide, Sancho comes inside, we're going to see Fred shift across, Antony out wide, Fernandes would then be more of a left centre mid, and Dalot, where is he? He is going to come in and form a 3-2. And what it's doing is it's allowing United to rotate in the final third, while still having plenty of control on the ball. Again, I think this middle overload will be the key though. I think there's a lot of potential to really hurt this team. But with Antony and Sancho kind of taking it in turns to come inside, I think that's where United could really hurt this Sevilla team. Because what we've seen in recent weeks against Brentford and against Everton is that Antony and Sancho actually both look really, really good. When they're coming into more confined spaces where they've got runners around them, they're looking really good in those areas. So let's say Sancho is able to pick the ball up from the left-hand side here. Malacia is going to overlap him, take the wing back. Sancho then coming into this area, I do wonder if reverse passes in this game could be a big asset, really. With Martial playing on the shoulder, assuming Rashford is injured, which it looks like is the case. That could be a useful weapon. Of course, it can happen from the other side as well. When Antony is coming inside, Dalot overlapping. It's going to allow Martial to get on the back of this defender here and make the run in behind. And with Antony, I think this is something we need to see a bit more, maybe, that reverse passing behind. But I think it's something which United could use to really good effect. And I think if they're doing this, then Sevilla are going to be hurt, basically. And they will kind of drop deeper and deeper into more of a low block, because United really should take control of this game.
I want to talk to you about an amazing tool to help you become a more composed and confident footballer. Be Your Best is football training in virtual reality. Developed by experts in Norway, it's the perfect way to improve cognitive performance, improving scanning, decision making and memory from anywhere in the world. In Be Your Best, you will go through over 800 scenarios recreated from professional games, a bit like this one from Luka Modric. You'll play from his point of view and receive feedback for your performance along the way. Be Your Best is used by athletes from all around the world, with Arsenal star Martin Odegaard using it in his return from injury, and it's also backed by science, with a recent 9-week study seeing players increase their scan rate by a staggering 28%, and now you can get 20% off your first month or year by using code HUB20 at checkout, so make sure to use BeYourBest.com or use the link in the description.
From a tactical point of view, the way that I think Ten Hag will set his side up will be something similar to this. If United are on it, they should control this game. Now, of course, that comes down to execution on the day. There are days where Bruno Fernandes gives the ball away a lot, someone like Fred, Antony, whoever it may be. United do need to continue doing what they've been doing in the last 2 games, taking their time on the ball. Bruno Fernandes doesn't need to suddenly go super rash with his passing, super audacious. Keep doing what you've been doing in the past couple of games. If they're able to do that, control really should be a big thing for United in this game. The question now is, how do you create chances in the final third? Well, obviously, we've already spoken about that kind of reverse ball in behind the defence. I think that could be important. But I think the other way that they can do it is by pushing players forward. Now, again, I say this literally all the time. Try and give yourself the overload up against the back line. I say it a lot, but the reason I say it a lot is because it is such a good way of hurting defences. Especially decent defences like Sevilla. You can really, really hurt them. So the way that United could do this is by again using Bruno Fernandes, how he's been used recently, and push the fullbacks forward. You can have Dalot wide on one side and perhaps Malacia tucked in on the other, underlapping maybe, or they can both be wide. It really doesn't matter. The idea is to constantly have different rotations in the final third. But again, it's going to allow someone like Martial to rotate into different positions if there's runners off the ball, and I think that could be really, really key. The ball going to Jadon Sancho here, and Tyrell Malacia making this run. In behind, dragging defenders. It then gives room for someone like Martial to drop into, but United still have runners in other areas as well, still width on the other side of the pitch. I think they really could hurt Sevilla in this way. And again, I think this is something that United could really take advantage of. Also, when Sevilla kind of are forced into these defensive positions, their box defence is nowhere near as good as what it has been in recent years. Past few seasons, they've been one of the best defences in Spain. However, losing Diego Carlos and also Jules Koundé in the summer, they are just not the same team. And, I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but look at the players they've got in that back three. It doesn't look great. It's not as good as what we've seen in the past. And they are susceptible to back post crosses from both sides. So again, that's something that United could try and exploit. The question is, does Ten Hag really have the players to actually fully take advantage of that? I'm not too sure. I think, there's not exactly aerial threats at the back post for United, so maybe that's something where it's unlikely. But if United get it right, it is certainly a way in which they could hurt Sevilla again. And the other thing, finally, is the counter-attack. Sevilla, when they get on the ball, like to push their wing-backs super high, get involved in the attack. And I think this creates opportunities for United to play on the counter-attack, like we saw with Antony, Sancho and Rashford at the weekend. Martial, of course, isn't quite the same. But I think there's potential for United on the counter-attack to really hurt this Sevilla team once again. Get on the ball and get in behind these areas. This channel here, and also this channel here. Antony at the weekend was a really good, willing runner, and with the likes of Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes playing in midfield, they should be able to find him. And I think that could really hurt Sevilla. And honestly, this is one of the easier previews to do, because as a Manchester United fan, I'm really quite confident. Sevilla are really struggling in the Liga this season. They're not very good at all. They've conceded lots of goals on the counter-attack. Recently against Atletico Madrid, was it 6-1 or was it 7-1? 5-1? 6-1? Something like that. There are a lot of goals where they're conceding on the counter-attack, they're conceding from chances behind their wing-backs, but then the game against Barcelona back in February, their wing-backs were regularly overloaded at the back post. Jordi Alba got a goal, Jordi Alba also got an assist in that game, and that was from a fullback pushing forward, making the overload, something that we've already spoken about Ten Hag to try and get his team to do. For me, I think the question is going to be about execution. Tactically, there's not tons to talk about, just because I don't think Sevilla are that great at the moment. I don't think United need a masterclass. I think if they can play that 3-2-5, use that box midfield, they'll cause a lot of problems. And then as kind of confidence grows in the game, you really take control. The 3-1-6, that 6 up against the back 5 of Sevilla, to me it looks like a mismatch. I think United just have too much quality in those areas. So like I said, execution is going to be key. Play the passes at the right time, the right weight of pass. Don't be too rushed. Take your time, control the game, but then in those moments, take your chances. Manchester United likely without Rashford in this game, so where do the goals come from might be a bit of a concern. However, hopefully Martial can chip in with some. Anthony, Sancho, players like that can get goals, and like I said, I'm reasonably confident as a United fan. So yeah, that's kind of how I see the game going. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, also, if you could subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. But let me know what you think. What would your starting 11 be? I would go with something like this. Bring Varane back into the side as well as Dalot. Maybe Fred for Sabitzer for some more energy, simply because Sabitzer has played a few games recently. Could see Weghorst playing if Martial isn't ready to lead the line after injury. But let me know what your setup would be. What do you think are the Sevilla weaknesses? What else do United need to be cautious about, basically? Or do you think it will be a comfortable win? What are your score predictions? All of that, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the video. And as always, I will see you in the next one.